Welcome into my state of mind here on WPRI.com until further notice. In lieu of brand new shows at 7:30 on MyRI TV and Fox Province at midnight with the full Dan York State of Mind extravaganza, we're looking at some old discussions right now and some repeat programs, and we'll be back when we can be back. In the meantime, the news today was quite full on both the national and local front. The idea that the makers of remdesivir, the antiviral drug, are kind of bullish on some of their testing and research, seeing that patients are recovering at a quicker rate. Good stuff. And the market certainly enjoyed that. And the president, understandably, jumped all over that, pushing the FDA to act on this. And at the time that I recorded this for your consumption, the FDA was reportedly looking at some kind of emergency drug authorization for that particular therapy. This will play out over time, and while it is hardly the news of a vaccine that we all want, investors certainly thought that this was pretty good, with the Dow up over 500 points. And it seems to me that the Dow is, and the entire market, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the whole shooting match, are really kind of bullish on the idea that once we get through this thing, that we can recover this economy. Maybe not till fourth quarter, maybe not until next year, but that this is a freak show. That this is not a recessionary decline that we understand. It's one of those things that came out of the blue and stopped everything cold in its tracks. So clearly, the well-being of the medicinal therapies for COVID-19 will continue to lead investor mindsets and hopefully be the thing that buoys the economy on some kind of a comeback. Let's not get our hopes up yet, but it's progress. It's progress. And talks of vaccines are actually starting to accelerate as well. Maybe not over the 18-month period that we were, relegated to thinking about. Some discussions are for end of year. But again, everything in its time and space. Just got to be patient with this stuff. In the meantime, at home, Governor Raimondo confirmed that all major populated events, sporting events, and things with big crowds will not happen for the summer. And true to form, the Newport Jazz Festival announced its cancellation of the event. Clearly, they were in contact with the governor, and she made her announcement today. And then she veered into the wedding situation and just suggested that if you've got a June or July wedding of hundreds of people, you may want to think about that, because it doesn't look like we're going to be in any position to have groups of more than 50. And even that right now doesn't match up to her phase 1, phase 2. So I don't know how fast the phase 1 and phase 2 is going to work, but we are in no shape to have those kinds of weddings right now. I started the radio show on WPRO weekdays 3 to 6 with kind of a funny note that, maybe there's a whole bunch of people you didn't want to invite anyway. You just kind of knock it down, just trying to bring some humor to the situation. I know the economic engine that weddings are and how many businesses it affects. But it seems, based on some feedback I got on the radio today from people who work within the industry, that most people who are about to be married have figured out on the calendar they got to push this thing. If not back to the fall, to next year. But if you are dangling with that decision, don't hold out that you're going to be able to have a few hundred people at your wedding. A small gathering to celebrate the nuptials and a one-year anniversary bash with 300 people might be just as fun, so to speak, right? So be aware of that. Speaking of the governor and answers that she gave today, I was able to have her answer a question on this ridiculous reporter online thing that you send, and she answers the question with no follow-up. On the nursing homes and the $20 per hour line of demarcation for hazard pay. I talked to you about this last night here, and I will continue to hammer this home. This is amongst the things the governor and the administration have done extremely well to lower this curve. And there are dozens of things that the governor has done extremely well. And the overall feeling of support for the governor's work is true, accurate, and I support it. But she's blown some things too. By the way, Hall of Fame hitters used to hit 345 or 275 sometimes. She's probably batting in the high 600 range, but she has to admit when she's fouled the ball off, and she has fouled the ball off on this nursing home situation, that she's going to provide hazard pay for a month for employees making $20 or less, will probably carve out 50, 60, 70% of the employees at a given nursing home. Now, there are professional employees, the nurses, the therapists, and the like, who aren't going to get any hazard pay, but who are as important and at risk with residents and just the virus itself as those who respectfully wash the linens, clean the floors, and even the CNAs who are doing God's work in there. There are even longtime dishwasher employees, as I was told by one administrator, who are now making $21 an hour, who work next to somebody washing dishes making $19 an hour. And they're going to get the raise at 19 and they're not going to get a bump at 21? No sense. In Massachusetts, they added $3 an hour to everybody working at the nursing home. Do a prorated increase. The Rhode Island Healthcare Association that regulates and represents the nursing homes said that they put an all fell swoop proposal to the governor's office, but the governor's office kind of entrepreneurialized the situation, and they're just kind of doing the thank you for whatever you can give us routine. Nice guys finish last. The association representing the nursing homes needs to fight the governor on this. The nursing home administrators who will quietly, bemoan this whole situation, who are worried about dissension in their ranks and future hires for nursing home employees, ought to step up and make some noise. And the Raimondo administration should show some flexibility and change the way they're doing this business. Makes no sense. It's a complete foul ball. And frankly, all due respect, one of the dumbest ideas I've seen in a long time. Against a lot of good ones, but this one's just D-U-M-B dumb. And finally, the Speaker of the House, the focus of a Target 12 investigation. I'm a big fan of our guys and gals over there at the Target 12 group at WPRI. Stay on this website at WPRI.com and look at the developments on the Speaker of the House and the Convention Center debacle. COVID-19 not related, although there's a COVID-19 excuse in it. I don't have the time here because they tell me I got to keep these things short. I don't have the time here to get into this whole situation, but safe to say that the Attorney General has more or less sent a message to the Speaker of the House. You lie to us again, I'm going to put you in jail. No, that's not what he said. It's what I'm saying he's trying to say. And the travel of this case is fascinating. And if not for the diligence of Target 12 and Eli Sherman, who petitioned the Speaker to cough up documents that related to information that he said he had, which was the foundation, he says, for why he ordered an audit of the convention center. And then the lawyer responding to the request for the documents said, well, it's privileged. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, sorry, COVID-19 is in the way. We can't get to you. Turns out there was no documents at all. The Speaker was on the radio today on WPRO, going like this, blah, 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 trying to make excuses for what clearly is a governmental jerk of one's chain. And really not telling the truth. It'd be nice just to say fibbing. Check out Target 12. They say I'm out of time. I could go all night. Usually do. 7:30 at Myra TV and Fox Providence at midnight. We'll get back there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Keep everybody in your prayers. And let's go and disappear, right? Good night.